Among the glowing towers of Velmara Prime, tucked within the high-security sky enclave of the Ben estate, lived the girl who had everything, but understood almost nothing about the world beyond her platinum gates, Arya Ben. She was the youngest daughter of Karl Ben, the galaxy's most powerful interstellar businessman. The man behind Galaxan, the retail giant so vast that in most colonies, people didn't shop anymore. They bend. Arya was the face of luxury. Her skin was sculpted by top-tier gene sculptors, her moods regulated by designer neuro implants. Her wardrobe? A constantly shifting blend of liquid fabrics and AI-personalized fashion trends. Styles that hadn't even been uploaded to the public grid yet. She had everything: wealth, beauty, and yes, was one very famous intergalactic social media influencer. But beneath the glittering skin, Arya was a restless soul. Not deep, not profound, but lost in a different way. She had grown up in a world where everything was handed to her, where expectations were never challenged, and where feelings were often managed with neural injections instead of actual conversations. She didn't understand pain, but she did understand emptiness. There was a hollowness that crept in every night, even in her sky bedroom that rotated gently to face the constellation of her choice. Despite everything, she often felt like a placeholder in her own story, an accessory to her father's empire, a hologram of perfection floating in a glass castle. Karl Ben saw this too, but he didn't scold her, he didn't push her toward humility or deeper meaning. No, Karl Ben saw an opportunity. To him, Arya wasn't just a daughter, she was a brand extension, an asset with untapped potential. So when the announcement was made that the Miss Milky Way competition would be revived after 300 years, this time with full backing from the Interstellar Cultural Ministry, complete with galaxy-wide coverage and public involvement, Karl's mind ticked faster than a quantum calculator. This was no ordinary beauty pageant. It was a political cultural spectacle, a show of soft power, planetary pride, and galactic narrative building. The winner wouldn't just get a crown, she'd get influence, headlines, and the loyalty of billions. Karl leaned back in his gravity-throned office and smiled. If Arya won, Galaxan would win. Her face on every billboard, every planet, every culture stream. Miss Milky Way, powered by Galaxan. The branding wrote itself. When he first brought up the idea to Arya, she rolled her eyes, but only at first, because something inside her flickered. Yes, it was vain. Yes, it was dramatic. But it was also hers. A chance to prove something. She agreed. Not because her father asked, but because the part of her that feared being ordinary screamed for a reason to matter. And so it began. The richest girl in the galaxy, dressed in purpose and projection, preparing to step onto the most watched stage in human history. Arya immediately called the person she trusted the most after her father. Her name was Sarah KAEL, 24, quiet, precise, efficient, too young to have lived through so much. She wore no luxury, just a smooth-fitted uniform with the Federation's crest on her sleeve and a digital clipboard in hand. Military posture, observant eyes, and a mind sharpened by survival. Sarah grew up in the lower zones of Virex 9, a planet scarred by old wars. Her parents gone before she turned 18. She raised her younger brother Keel while juggling jobs and eventually joining the Federation Logistics Corps. She wasn't a soldier, but she served beside them, fixing machines, managing supply chains, learning to fight when needed. When her father died in an accident, she left the Corps to care for Keel. The house manager examination was her way out, one of the toughest in human space. She ranked in the top 20 and earned her place on Velmara Prime, managing the estate of the most powerful man in half the Milky Way. Arya's voice, excited, playful. Sarah, guess what, guess what, guess what? Sarah, in the middle of scheduling maintenance for the hydroponics dome, tapped her device. Arya's hologram sprang up in full 3D from her communicator, a glittering version of the heiress, lounging on a floating sofa with her usual flair. Good evening, Arya. Is everything all right? Better than all right. I'm going to be Miss Milky Way. Like, officially. Daddy pulled a few strings, okay, more like bent them into origami, but I'm in. Can you believe it? Sarah paused for a moment. Behind her composed smile was a flicker of sadness, not because she wasn't happy for Arya, but because this was exactly what separated their worlds. Congratulations. That's quite the stage. I knew you'd get it. Everyone else here just nods like they're paid to. But you actually listen. I mean, it's not just a crown, Sarah. It's history. It's legacy. And maybe this sounds weird, but I want to make Daddy proud. But here's the thing. I need you to come with me. Come with you? To the competition? Yes, you keep me grounded, Sarah. I get too emotional, too reactive. But when you're around, it's like, I don't know, my brain works better. You're like my calm mode. Arya, with all respect, those events aren't really for me. I'm not one for vanity shows. Real beauty is in action, in purpose, not posture or cosmetic upgrades. Arya pauses, studying her face. You think it's shallow. I think it's not my world, that's all. Or maybe you're afraid you won't fit in? I've fit into many places I didn't belong, but I've never had the luxury of pretending I did. Arya, hurt but still hopeful. Sarah, are you saying you won't come with me? It's not that I'm refusing. It's just, I have responsibilities here, and frankly, you don't need me on a runway. No, but KAEL might. There's silence. The name drops heavy like a stone. I know you've been trying to get him into the military academy. I have contacts at the Seoul Academy of Defense. One word from me, and he'll be enrolled next cycle. With full tuition, fast-tracked for Space Force training. Sarah stiffens. That's not something you offer as a favor. I'm not offering it as a favor. I'm offering it because I trust you, and I want you with me. This means everything to me, Sarah. And you're the only one I can really trust to tell me the truth. Sarah looks away, struggling. I'll need clearance for off-world travel and 2 weeks logistical leave. Done. You won't regret it. This is going to be legendary. Sarah, quietly, more to herself. I already do. In a week's time, they had to leave, and in a week's time, they got everything ready, all the dresses, all the cosmetics, and the high-end food that will make Arya glow. The morning they are about to leave, Arya's father calls Sarah in his control room, from where he manages his business through many star systems and beyond. Carl. Zalira 5, the planet of glittering mountains. Yes, the peaks are laced with diamond particles. By night, the terrain looks like it's lit from within, like stars have buried themselves in the land. She swipes through data on her palm screen. A planetary 3D scan rotates midair. But there's tension. According to diplomatic chatter intercepted last week, the native species, Zalarai, are not pleased with this pageant being hosted there. They're reclusive, deeply spiritual. They fear attention will attract darker interests. Pirates, off-grid miners, artifact smugglers. Carl leans back, steepling his fingers. I've spoken with the Planetary Council. Their permission is official, and we're bringing commerce to a planet that's been shut in for too long. Sarah, quietly. That doesn't mean they trust us. And if it escalates? Carl, cutting her off gently. Then you'll be ready. Then Carl smiles, genuine, almost fatherly. I've ordered your escort to be disguised. On the outside, luxury cruiser. On the inside, fully armed high-tech warship. If anything goes wrong, you get Arya out immediately. No second guessing. You command it, Sarah. Sarah's expression tightens slightly. A beat of silence, then she nods. Understood. Carl, rising from his chair now, walking to the window. And Sarah, by the time you two return, your brother will have already left for Titanus Academy. Fully funded, highest grade instructors, he'll make a fine space soldier. Sarah pauses. That quiet strength in her falters for just a moment, barely audible in her voice. Sarah, softly. Thank you, sir. You've earned it. Echoes of hydraulic lifts, the ambient hum of starship engines powering up. Vast arched ceilings, blue light trails mark the docking lanes. In the center, the sleek silhouette of the luxury cruiser. Chrome glass panels and obsidian plating, looming like a jewel in darkness. Sarah walks ahead, scanning the ship's readouts on her wrist console. Arya follows, excitement buzzing in her voice, heels clicking as she nearly skips. Arya, gleeful. Can you believe it, Sarah? The actual Swan-class intergalactic cruiser. These only launch for political summits and royal weddings. Just as she finishes, a loud hiss echoes behind them. A ramp lowers from a small attached transport pod. Chrome heels clink against the ramp. Dramatic orchestral music begins playing, seemingly from nowhere. A tall figure emerges, 7 feet of polished alloy and soft synthetic skin. Multiple slender arms adjust shimmering scarves and rearrange cascading accessories of tiny hollow crystals. They walk with grace and precision, their voice honeyed with drama and digital warmth. Android. Darlings, tell me the light in this docking bay isn't going to wash out her entire entrance look, because I will reprogram this port's mood settings if I have to. Sarah blinks, genuinely caught off guard. What is that? Arya, squealing slightly, rushing to hug the android. That is Andro Felix, my fashion architect, Holoveil consultant, and soul curator. Andro Felix spins dramatically, forearms flaring out like petals. Andro Felix, to Sarah, inspecting her with amusement. And you must be the famous house manager. Darling, the way you iron that uniform could slice moons. Love it. Love the authority. Mildly terrified. Perfect. Sarah, deadpan. Another variable. Just what I needed. Andro Felix, winking. Oh, sweetness. I'm not a variable. I'm the constant in fabulous. Ship voice. Docking complete. Boarding sequence ready. Welcome aboard the Celestial Whisper. Sarah turns to Arya, who grins wide, slipping on her golden boarding cloak. Arya. Come on, let's make the stars jealous. Sarah sighs, eyes flicking once more at Felix's spinning bangles, then boards silently behind them. The ship hums quietly, sleek and glowing from within. Sarah stands near the command console, dialing a final holocall. KAEL, hologram. You're really going? Yeah, 1 week. Quick trip. Stay in touch, okay? Promise. And when I'm back, we get you packed for Orion Academy. They share a quiet smile. The call fades. Behind her, Arya lounges, sipping espresso, feet up. Arya. Time to dive into the stars. Andro Felix struts in, arms full of glowing fabrics. Darling, please, no sudden jumps. I've just moisturized my titanium plating. Sarah. Try duct tape. Andro Felix winks. Iconic. Ship voice. Wormhole opening. Prepare for jump. Outside, space stretches and swirls. With a sudden pull, the ship vanishes into the wormhole. Carl watches the sky calm after the jump. His wrist device pings. Digital voice. 3 million star points deducted. Carl sighs, turns away. Arya Ben. Bring that crown, Arya.